Okay,
So
Trisha,
silly.
why don't you go first, then Lady K, and then we'll all three of us turn our attention to Robin to introduce herself. But Trisha, go ahead.
All right. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining in from. Thanks for being here. I'm Trisha McAlka. I am a survivor of narcissistic abuse for 6.5 years. I escaped, wrote a book about it, and have been advocating for women and children and trying to change laws of coercive control. I do coaching one-on-one, and I am all about the moving forward and being
Yeah,
done so you can heal. So that's me.
love it, love it. Lady K, please.
Hi, my name's Christina Flores. I am also a survivor of narcissistic abuse. My experience was throughout childhood, so I'm a trauma survivor from childhood. And I am currently a year and a half into no contact with my entire family.
You have made a stand for yourself. This,
Yes.
well, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Very encouraging to see that you're able to stand up for yourself. Both of you have shows that we've already done on Instagram. Looking forward to doing some stuff here on YouTube. And of course, Trisha, you're a part of. Oh, okay, here we go. I didn't think about this. I'm gonna do this. You're a part of the. You're a part of the shirt. There you go. Shirt.
Yes.
That healing from narcissism 2021 campaign that started here on Narc Abuse TV. You're part of the panel that makes up those individuals, 5 ladies that make that up, and we're going to be doing that again. Show number 3. We're going to be doing that in January, but everybody can see the first show as well as the second one here on YouTube. So now let's, if you ladies don't mind, join me, and of course the dog can do the same with his paws. Let's give a love clap for Dr. Robin Bryman, who I believe is one of the foremost leading individuals on explaining and expounding on narcissism. And she's got class and she's got style too, and she don't act crazy. You know, some people do it, they act crazy. I'll say it now. My season's coming to an end. They cray. They just all crazy, opinionated and crazy. You, on the other hand, got class, and everyone that's been on my show has got class. So I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about everybody that's not on my show. Anyhow, so like that. All right. Robin, what's up?
Hi, how are you?
All righty.
Hi,
Your
hi.
turn. Your turn.
My turn.
Yeah.
I feel very fortunate to do this with these two lovely ladies also. I'm
Yeah.
happy.
Thank you very much. And she's humble too, by the way. Do you notice that? She's very humble, extremely humble.
Oh,
Um, Obviously, the president is calling you, and he needs some advice. So, so
Yes, he does.
hey, you know what? I love that. That was really no. You could have answered that. That would
no,
no.
I can't turn it
If
off.
you want to answer, that's a first. I love it. I think it's great personally. Come on,
That's people already calling her.
let's. They're already calling for advice. Hey, you know what?
My phone. Okay.
I hope you didn't skip an appointment just to do this show, because that might be a client talking to you.
Watch, they keep calling back. I'll be in big trouble.
No,
Okay. Hi.
you know what? If they keep calling, it's not a problem. Just mute yourself. But what I was gonna say, I'm just teasing. But here we go. Let me see here. I'm gonna put some items on the screen. But before I do that, Trisha, could you do me a favor? Could you go ahead and talk about some things that are on your mind? And you and Lady K, some things on your mind that you want to either ask Robin or things you want to talk about. Robin is here as our special guest to give us some advice.
Yeah, super lucky to be able to have you here with us. And I think a big thing for survivors and victims that are stuck still with their abuser or have just left is that crippling shame and also fear, however long they've been in this horrific, I call them situationships because there's nothing real about them. It can be very devastating and almost like learning to walk again or crawl when you finally leave. So I kind of wanted to talk or ask you about the physical effects that it actually does have on someone's brain, and how, maybe some tips on how to just start their healing path, who to speak to, who not to speak to, because I know that it's really hard. You want to vent and get it out, and people just don't understand, and that can be very dangerous and re-traumatizing to somebody that's just left. So I'll hand that over to you.
Thanks. Well, it's a multi-level answer here. First of all, this week, every week I learn so much from my patients. This week, when you said the word shame, I usually hear the word guilt first. And I just, this was like a very important thing that I discovered this week, in that people say, I feel so guilty. I feel terrible. I can't do this. I feel guilty. And I look at them and I said, no, you feel shame. That's what you feel. So, when you hear the word guilt, it's better to look at it that way, because that's the turning point, I think, to help yourself. So your brain, you mean your brain as you're going through this and trying to get out of it?
Yeah.
Like I said, there's so many answers to that. First of all, it very often has to do with your childhood and how you think. We say, the narcissist or the sociopath or whomever we're dealing with is delusional, right? I think you're delusional too, going through this.
Yeah.
So there's a fog. I'm trying to use different terminology because, it does overlap, and we don't hear that a lot. We don't hear, codependent could be delusional, or, the person.
I agree.
Relationship. Yeah. So, you're thinking of this fantasy love affair, and, your brain is programmed. It's hard to get unprogrammed from that, because when you're thinking that way, it feels good. And not thinking that way, you literally think you're going to die, because you can't even fathom. It's either you feel great and delusional, or you're feeling depressed and you don't even know what to do with yourself.
Right.
So that's really difficult. People that have gone through it, especially like that are in the trauma bond, their brain is so lacking, the feel good chemicals, the crack, the dopamine rush, that they can't think clearly. They're in a horrible fog. And then I always say, like, the air hurts. And when you're getting help, you need to go to someone. And I think coaches are fantastic that have gone through this. I'm kind of rare that I'm a psychologist that and I've gone through this. And but I think you need to go to somebody who has a real understanding of this. I was one of those people that went to a marriage counselor, and they had no idea what they were talking about. And it was so frustrating. One of the best psychologists out there. And, that to me is a very big thing to get out of the pattern, is to talk to someone that understands this.
Lady K, any thoughts that you want to, any question you want to ask Doc while she's here?
Well, I've been no contact with my pretty much entire family for a year and a half. And the first step in getting to this place where I can last this long was dealing with shame. And so I felt like I processed shame and I got through that step. But the part that I'm struggling with now is how do you begin the grieving process? Because you're no contact. I'm a product of child abuse. So my parents are elderly now. And so I know their time isn't long. And I'm just not sure, like, how to deal with the feelings. How do you go to the funeral? Do you go to visit them if they're on their sick bed? I've heard so many different stories of, yes, it's a good idea. No, it's not a good idea, that I'm kind of confused. I don't know which is the best way to move forward for healing.
That's a great question. So this is what my advice would be to you and to whoever else is going through that, is it's a process. You feel confused now, but you're talking about it. I can promise you that when you have to do something, the answer will come. Does that make sense? And
Yeah.
it could just be so natural, like, oh, that makes sense, but it's not time yet.
Okay.
When
Yeah.
when
Thank
when
Yeah.
you're in a situation that a person is in the situation that they're 3, 4, 6 months, a few weeks, a few months, a year, 18 months removed from that situation, what perspective or advice do you give someone like that? Trisha, didn't you say you were like how many 14 months or something like that out?
Yeah.
What advice is building blocks to moving forward have you seen that can help someone navigate, though every person's life experience is different in dealing with
Yeah.
this?
I would say, I mean, for me, step one was just, I don't want to say being selfish, but really taking care of myself. You know,
What do you mean by really?
If I was tired and wanted to sleep, or if I wanted to stay in bed all day, I stayed in bed all day. If people were calling and texting me that I felt obligated to answer but didn't want to, I didn't text them back. Just really anchoring to your true self and who you are, and learning to set those firm boundaries with everyone and everything in your life so that you can start gaining control again. And also allowing yourself to sit in that pain and that emotion and work through it. Do the ugly cry, Ben and Jerry's ice cream binge eat if you need to. Like, allow yourself.
I like that one.
Yeah. And I did.
Chunky monkey,
allow
chunky
yourself
monkey,
to
yes.
do those things because you haven't been able to do the things you wanted or needed because you were taking care of the man child or whoever.
Right.
But I mean, honestly, I was just able to, you know, go out in nature a lot, which is huge for me. Put my bare feet in the dirt and reconnect to earth and source, and just focus on my breathing, sleep. You know, just don't be the people pleaser. You need to take care of yourself and give and feed whatever your body and, you know, mind, spirit needs. You need to do that, and take your time and just be super gracious and patient with yourself.
Cool. Robin, what advice do you give from your experience as a psychologist? I did get that right? I know I got that right. I didn't have it in front. Oh, yeah, I know it wasn't psychotherapist. Psychologist. Oh, no, I just insulted a bunch of psychotherapists. Your advice. I don't care. Your advice. This is free TV. Come on.
That's all right.
Your advice for someone who's a few weeks, few months out. Some things that they can do as building blocks to move forward.
I love what you said, Trisha, with taking care of yourself. I mean, that's really the key. Some people don't know how to take care of themselves, though. So, and the nature part is great too. I really believe that, you know, just how we're built, that we really, you know, want to be in nature. Taking care of yourself. I always like to, you know, I think you have to have a relationship with friends, but really get closer to people that are supportive, along with being on your own and filling up your time with things that do feel good. It's a lot about self-care and self-growth. One thing that helped a lot is that we talked a little bit about the brain and how you ruminate and you think the same thing over and over, and you can't get out of this pattern of ruminating. What I recommend is even just turn on YouTube and watch, something that interests you on narcissistic abuse recovery. And when you do that, you don't have to sit and watch the show. You can listen to the show.
I agree. Yeah,
but you can take a walk in nature, put on your AirPods, listen to the video, a podcast. And I have to tell you, your brain can't do two things at once. It can't ruminate and listen.
Yep.
And so if you have to listen to 100 videos, listen to 100 videos in a day, and then it'll be 95 videos. And then your brain eventually recovers. I really believe that.
You just gave away my marketing secret for the whole show.
Sorry.
Or how I got started. I made them deliberately an hour to an hour and a half long. And now that I moved to YouTube, I'm doing 2 hours. I do 2 hours just so people know. A lot of people figured it out too when I got started. Your shows are long on purpose so I can just put it in until I'm tired of listening to it. I say, exactly. You won't, and then you got to go do something while you're watching or listening to the show, because you'll eventually go like, okay, I've worked this out. I've worked through it. Yeah.
And it's important to move your body too, because your trauma and pain is stored in the cells of your body. So the more you're able to get out and move, you're moving that out of your body so that you're processing it, and it's like a release.
Lady K, what has worked for you in dealing with troublemakers and knuckleheads that you have to deal with?
I took the same pathway as these two beautiful ladies just described. But, it started off in small steps. I think a lot of people start with just like a weight loss journey, and you start to feel better about so that's where it started for me. I lost some weight. And then I started to feel good about myself, and I wanted to continue to feel better. And so from there, you do therapy, or you see a coach, or you go to your circle of support. And then it was just little steps. And then I started with doing little boundaries, like, well, let me see if I can do this and see how that goes. And just like you said, little by little, your brain starts to shift, and you fall in love with yourself, and you find joy, and you love how you feel, and you don't want to give that up. And it becomes essential to your life and to your spirit. And so I just kept going. And now I'm at a point where I feel, healing it's never ending. I will always be in recovery. I will always be healing, but I'm in a really good place right now. And there's nobody who's going to take that away from me. I will not allow it. And so that's how I ended up 1.5 years of this time going no contact, because I've tried it before, like many of us do. And then we don't hold to our boundaries and we give in. So this is like several rounds of it. But I really feel like I found the magic bullet that works for me, the formula that works for me, and I'm just sticking to that formula. Nobody's going to take it away from me. I worked hard to get to this place. And I think when you get to this place, nobody can take that away from you. It's not happening.
100%. 100%.
All three of you are inspiring others, no doubt, when they watch this back, about moving forward, and those that are watching right now. Time to put something on the screen that we can talk about from Robin. We are going to do our round robin starting now. I so corny. Here we go. Let's see here. You got something up on the screen there. I'm going to move everybody around here. Everybody can see that there comfortably. I am going to see. Let's do that. That's Robin's page there.
Yes.
Can you see that? Trisha, you got younger eyes than mine.
Do you want me to read it?
Please, for the old man in the room.
You got it. So Dr. Robbins says the covert narcissist is like a spider. They weave webs of drama in order to gain supply. Yes, they do. Very much.
What were you thinking when you made that post? Enlighten us on that, even though we all would agree.
Ooh, all right. So I was with a covert narcissist, and I used to say, ooh, he's like a spider. Like, you never know where he's going to show up or not show up, or pop out, or do something provocative. But behind the scenes, when you don't know anything, they're creating a lot of drama, making up a lot of fake stories for the smear campaign or the start of it. And so I thought, like, they're kind of like a spider, if I had to say what kind of, insect, animal, whatever they are. Creepy.
Very creepy. And it's psychotic.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It is. But
the things that, somebody conjures up in their head about you and your character, and then plays it out and believes their own lie. And they're so convincing at it that people are like, oh my gosh, it's crazy town.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And then imagine that a covert narcissist is your mom. It's your
Yeah.
mother who you know,
Wow. Okay,
spins that web of
that's
drama.
crazy.
Yeah,
That,
it
Yeah.
is crazy. Yeah.
tell us a little bit about that. I know we did the show, but tell us a little bit about that now for those who are experiencing the same thing and they haven't heard your story. What is it like experiencing that when the person that is your initial caregiver is the same person that's spreading rumors about you or damaging your your reputation?
It's unfathomable. It's so unbelievable that you don't believe it yourself. And so it took me years upon years of abuse, of emotional abuse, to recognize that my mother doesn't love me, that a narcissist is incapable of truly, you know, loving. And I think once I got to that place of that understanding and then surrendering to that fact, because it's very, very painful when you're staring at that fact in front of you and you're recognizing that the person who is supposed to be your everything, it's your mother. I mean, it doesn't get any deeper than that. To find out that it was all fake and that this person was actually working against you and was trying to set you up to fail so that they could get attention. It was really hard to deal with that and to recognize that and to move forward from that. But I think when you can surrender to that and just it is what it is, I can't change it. All I can do is do better for my children and move on. So that was my saving grace. Is I took my experience and I said, I don't want to do this to my children. I don't want to be this kind of mother. And so I did the work to heal so that I wouldn't pass on generational trauma to my children. Now, I mean, I'm not perfect. You're gonna, I mean, I'm doing the best I can, but I grew up with a toxic environment. It's seared into my brain. So that's why I say I'm always in recovery and I'm always working and I'm not working on it and I'm not perfect. But I know I have broken a generational trauma in my family and my children are not experiencing what I went through. And the mother I had, I'm not that mother to my children. So that has been the thing that is like, I'm okay. I'm okay.
If somebody's trying to move forward right now, what is the work that you could kind of point them to in a direction? What was some of the work per se that you did? I know you highlighted that there was like a fitness journey you started to take. What else? What does the work consist of? So if somebody's trying to move forward,
you know, I think it's about finding what works for you. So like I tried many different formulas. You know, I read books, I took classes, I got therapy, I set boundaries, I lost weight. I just basically dated myself and fell in love with myself.
oh wow,
And
that's cool.
and you figure out, and then, you know, I attend to my spiritual side of myself. You just keep taking those baby steps and you keep building upon those steps. And then pretty soon you get to a place of, okay, I'm good. Like, I'm really good. But it takes time.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's what I always tell people. I'm like, I've been 14 months and it has been the best relationship of my life.
Yeah.
Well, and you don't have to deal with an abusive person or a sociopath or psychopath. I get to ask a question of Robin, but first I'm going to put something up on the screen. Let me put this up here for everybody. I have to ask this question of you, Robin, before we go to this next thing here. What is it like if a person is in a relationship with a sociopath? What is that like? I'm not asking for firsthand experience or nothing. I just want you to give an idea to someone of what it's like if they were in a relationship with a sociopath.
Well, you definitely have a feeling in your gut that something is wrong. You're confused. You're very confused and very depressed. You can't take care of yourself. It's like probably the worst feeling because you can't even protect yourself. And you can't trust.
Why can't you protect yourself?
Because you can't trust what they say, you know, and you're in such a fog. You've been really groomed by them. And so all of your insecurities and fears, they're turning it against you very
Throw it
slowly.
in your face.
Very insidious. I always say the word insidious. I mean, that's the thing where it's like boiling a rabbit, you know, that or frog or whatever.
Frog,
Frog. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm thinking of Fatal Attraction. But it's horrible.
Yeah.
When it comes to locating the shame and changing one's life, that's the posting that you have here. Locate the shame and change your life.
Yeah.
Explain that to us. How is that beneficial in moving forward?
Well, even at the beginning, I'll use a similar thing that I said, as far as, you know, I feel guilty, I feel sad, I feel, you know, insecure, I feel this, I feel that, you know. Well, you feel shame, you're ashamed. That's what's going on. You can't get out. You feel ashamed. You feel ashamed that you're staying in this. You feel ashamed that you picked this person.
Oh, okay. I get it. Yeah.
Yep.
And that becomes a cycle or a lifestyle?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't understand the shame part, then you really can't get over it, then you can't get out.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
1000%.
Yeah.
Perfectly put.
You got to repeat that. That was good.
Yeah.
I think we can stop the show. That was it.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted right
That
there.
was money right there.
Say it again, please.
Yeah.
If you don't know where the shame lies or take responsibility for the shame, you can't move forward.
Keeps you
So-
stuck.
Go ahead, Trish. I'm sorry. You're going to say something, Trish?
I'm just agreeing with her. I mean, that was brilliantly put. That's exactly what it is. That's what keeps you stuck. When you can't see the pattern, whether it be from your upbringing or, you know, your lack of confidence or whatever, on top of what the sociopath has put you through, you're stuck. But once you start realizing this is not normal, I'm not safe here, and you don't feel safe in your body anymore until you start turning inward and looking at that and yourself and the patterns you've had, which is why this person came into your life, and you keep accepting it, you're not going to move. You're not going to change. You've got to do the work, and you've got to lovingly start doing the work and cut it off, and then start healing those things about yourself that have been ingrained in you, whether it be from how your parents treated you or just whatever it may be, whatever helped get you into relationship with this person, that's what needs to change so that you can move forward and be the person you were intended to be, a stronger person.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's hard, brutal, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
I was going to share that was a roadblock for me in my healing journey. Dealing with the shame was a roadblock, and it did keep me from like continuing my healing journey. And so I did have to stop and process that, especially because when you go no contact with your family, you get judged a lot. Like you get told, well, that's the only father you'll ever have. That's the only mother you ever have. Like, how do you cut your parents off? What kind of a person are you to do that? But nobody asked, like, well, wait a minute. Have you considered what they did to put me in a place where I wouldn't want them in my life? Like,
Right.
look at that. And so that was like okay. So I had to like change perspectives and like shift my thinking. And then once I did that, I could process my shame. And then I'm like, you know what? I didn't do anything wrong. Actually, I was just born in this family. They did it to me. I was just brought into this world with no choice whatsoever. And now, regardless of that, I still have to take responsibility and heal, because it's still, I own my life. So I have to take ownership of that. But once I release that shame, oh my gosh, my healing journey just like it went fast forward. So fast.
It's like freedom.
Yeah.
It really is. All right. So I'm going to change that post now. I'm going to change it. You ready for the new one? Right. So
Wait a minute. Hold on. I don't know if we're ready for all of this creativity that's oozing from this show. Go ahead. Robin, please let me make sure I'm seated properly. Have at it, my friend. Have at it. Go ahead.
Locate the shame, change your self-talk, change your life.
Look at you. Adaptable, on the fly. You so fly, you so fly. All right, so that was pretty good. I like that. Okay, we'll all be looking for that new post.
Yeah. That's my new one.
Trisha, any points that you want to highlight and talk about? We have gone 34 minutes in this beautiful discussion. Anything that you want to bring to mind, Lady K? Anything before I torture? I mean, before I talk to Robin a little bit. Okay.
I would just say, just to really focus on self-care in the beginning. I think that's brutally important. And, also really setting those boundaries. No contact, none. Not creeping on their social media, not having your friends
I like
creep
when
on
you
their
talk
social
about
media.
You are so serious, aren't you? You're serious about this.
Nothing, because all you're doing is hurting yourself and prolonging the pain when you do that, because I guarantee you 1000% whatever you see is BS. It is staged, just like everything was in your relationship, and the new girl, guy, whatever, is going to have this same exact experience. So don't even put it in your head. Just move on.
And it's important. What helped me too to like do the no contact, the thing that really clicked for me is recognizing that when you have narcissist personality disorder, folks, they're not going to change.
No.
And doctor, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but from my understanding, there's no like researched or no examples of anybody being cured of it ever. So
they get worse.
Right. So if it's not going to change, then you're just abusing yourself. All you're saying is keep abusing me. I'm just going to keep coming back for more. They're not going to change. And I think that's
they love
part
when you do.
Right. And that's the part that kept me hooked was, but I hope, but I pray, but maybe just this time. No, they're not going to change. So just let it go.
Yeah, they're not changing. If they're truly NPD, they're not changing. I mean, people have narcissistic traits.
Right.
When, they're on the spectrum of personality disorder, but
So a sociopath is not, you're going downhill if you're thinking that person is going to change. Yeah.
No, because the way they talk to themselves is just so crazy.
I'm sorry. They talk to themselves. And let's talk a little bit about they talk to themselves. Expound on that.
Their self-talk is they're haters. Everything is twisted and turned, and it's just everybody's out to get them, and so
they're such a victim.
Yeah, the victim. Yeah, it's really it's a mess.
The reason all three of you are here today, we have gathered today. No, just kidding. The reason all three of you are here today is because I wanted to take a brief moment to ask each one of you to talk to people that you do not know and they don't know you, but you may have common ground.
Yeah.
And express to them, and I really would like Lady K to go first, and then Trisha, and then my beautiful superhero friend Robin to go. So I want you to talk to people that do not know you, but will watch this back across the world. Instagram is only in certain places overall. YouTube is everywhere. It's global. When we're asleep, people will be watching this. I get the most amazing comments and different things on stuff that I post. It's a huge impact that's had by people. Surprises me all the time that they're so happy with the guests that come on. So I wanted to have the three of you talk to the viewers that will see this, not just, today. We're talking, months, years down the line. Gather some words that express to them the importance of moving forward, even if they feel trapped, stuck, not enough, not desired, not valued. Talk to them. Who's going to go first? I think I mentioned Lady K.
Don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. Keep going. It does get better. It's hard. I'm not going to lie. It's hard work. It is really gut wrenching, digging into your soul, doing your shadow work, therapy, whatever avenue you take to address it. It takes some time. Sometimes it feels like it gets worse before it gets better, but it does get better. It does get better. Don't give up on yourself. You are worth it. You are worth, and I can tell you, because I've been there. I've had the suicide ideation. I've been to the depths of darkness dealing with this. I'm not there anymore. There is another side. So just keep working. Don't give up. And if it sometimes you take some steps forward and then you get knocked back down. That's okay. That's okay. That's a part of, you can't have success without failure. So it's a part of the process. It's okay. Just keep going. You'll get there and you'll find a place of joy. And when you find that place of joy where you finally found your happiness from the inside out, nobody can touch that. Nobody will ever take that away from you. So keep going. You're worth it.
Beautiful.
Yes. Very nice.
Trisha, please.
Oh my goodness. It is quite possibly the hardest thing I've ever had to go through in my entire life. And there are times when you're resentful and you're angry and you want to give up and you feel completely beat down. Like it is, there are no words, but if you can just become your own hero and know that there is nobody else on this earth other than you that can fight for you and knows truly what you need and deserve other than yourself, then you are going to kick major.
Apples.
So,
yes. Apples. I don't have a button on my console for that. I don't. But apples. I know what you meant. Yeah, I know you meant apples. I got you. APP.
The juicy ones.
Yes.
Just you've got to stick in there. Be your own hero. Start having more faith in yourself. You are precious. You were created for a reason and put on this earth, and your time is not up until he says your time's up. So keep going and just keep finding people that encourage you, find people that support and lift you up. That is crucial. And you have to let go of friends, sometimes family, sometimes in-laws and the kids. Not if they're your children, but if it was, in my case, my ex-abuser had 2 kids who I adored. I'll never see them again because I can't. I can't. And that's hard. It's really hard, but it is absolutely crucial. When you go no contact, you cut all ties because it's for your benefit and you've got to take care of you. So be your own hero and just, like Miss K said, it's baby steps. It's a process. It's not linear, and you're healing. You are going to be on a roller coaster, and that is okay, but it does get better. I promise. So just keep going forward. Fall forward. Don't fall back. Fall forward.
Yeah.
Even
no
if
U-turns. No U-turns.
Yes.
Yeah. No U-turns.
You can munch on the dirt if you hit your face. That's fine, but just keep going forward.
Yeah. That at least you're munching on the dirt. You're not being fed a bunch of dirt and somebody trying to bury you, right?
Exactly. And it's not being kicked in your face.
Kicked in your face, yeah. Or do dirt behind your back, yeah, right. Robin, please, any words of encouragement, please, for those who will get a chance to meet you here on YouTube Live for eternity.
All right, words of encouragement. It doesn't only get better, it gets great.
Oh wow, that's good. Okay.
But you got to go through it.
All right.
We don't talk about, I was thinking with Trish, we don't talk about cutting out people in your life that are, affiliated with that person.
Not so much. That's a good point.
They're on the fence, but you don't know. Do you still talk to them if they talk to the narcissist still? Or no.
You do not.
No, don't do that.
Almost in stereo. You both almost said it in stereo, almost at the same time.
Yeah.
So, and that, so, you really do get to a point where you're not talking to as many people, and then you're going to slowly let people into your life that are supportive. But this is a journey, and a lot of people that are going through this, their life is upside down and backwards. And so, I never met a real put together person with, organized, finances great, in perfect physical shape. That are going through this. They're usually at the point where their whole life is upside down. When they say, I need help, like, help me. Please find someone that's gone through this and listen to, YouTube podcasts, whatever, some Instagram, whatever's out there on narcissistic abuse recovery, and keep listening. And, people are also not in touch with themselves who are going through this, especially at first. So that when you're in this trauma bond and the world is upside down and you feel so depressed, if you can't connect with yourself, connect with someone who you want to emulate, who you want, who really hits home with you. And I found some people on YouTube that were survivors and thrivers, I thought were pretty cool. And so, I started connecting with them more. I started doing things. I think I told you this last time, Paxton. If the narcissist likes peanut butter, I don't like it anymore.
You don't like it. I know.
And then whatever, that's worth. And that's a way of saying, I'm a full person. I'm not just a part of that other dysfunctional, toxic person. I stand alone. So that's a hard one, is undoing that connection.
You put in my mind when you said that in that show, which hopefully one day I'll just take certain clips out of your shows and post them. That was a good one because I love peanut butter. And when you said it, no, I really love peanut butter. It's weird.
I do too.
But I seriously got a problem. But what's interesting, when you said that, I immediately thought of, we not only will be reprogramming per se our physical body, we almost literally need to reprogram our taste buds. We need to reprogram our entertainment. We need to reprogram the way we literally recreate, what we consider recreation, because every aspect, from what I'm understanding by having this show with my daughters and doing this with the people that we've talked to, it's almost as if, well, it's back to the spider thing you said. It's like, or if they were an octopus, it's like their tentacles are in everything on purpose, and then they walk away so they can see how much they have mastery over messing up someone's life. I'm just putting it in a spin on it. From talking to so many people, it's like, if you loved peanut butter, they'd find a way to mess you up with peanut butter. Just to make it so that when they can discard you, they can walk away and go like, they'll never eat peanut butter the same. And their friends are going like, what are you talking about? Well, let me tell you what I did to them. It's like they take pride in that. No, this is what I'm hearing. I'm just people that I've interviewed. It's like, and I sit in awe listening to these interviews, and I wanted to do a show like this. I would love to have a show where I can get 3 people that I feel comfortable with and I admire and respect. You were never to be a part of this, Trisha. You were to be a part of something else. And we're like, hey, she's not in it. Then fine, I'll make her a co-host and we'll do it together. And I got to have Robin, but Robin's busy because, she's got to fly to the White House. She got to go see Snoop Dogg. She's hanging out, with Jay-Z. She's hanging out with Jay-Z. Then she's hanging out with Tim McGraw. And then she's going over here washing dishes with Faith Hill. So I was like, you're busy. And then I didn't know whether, Lady K would even say yes, because we haven't talked in quite a while. And I love your work, but I wanted to wait till this week when I know I was going to be done. And all 3 of you said yes. For words of encouragement, as you can tell, I made a graphic for it because that's what I wanted this show to be. Moving forward is easy when we can be self-generated and we're done. But a lot of times people are not self-generated. They live off the energy of someone else to get them motivated, excuse me, or anger, or they get upset, or they're done. But your words of encouragement that you just said, when you watch this back, they will hit home because it wasn't the same for each one of you.
Right.
And so therefore it will apply to somebody who needs to hear it. But now I'm going to ask you this before we have to go. what words of encouragement, take a moment, that you have heard that someone gave to you that proved to be beneficial? At some moment in your life, someone decided multiple times, or one that stood out, to say something or do something for you, with you, through you, that made you recognize it's about to get great, the way Robin talked about. There's a moment when it became clear to you, and someone who's getting kicked about, or they're kicking themselves, gaslighting themselves, even though the abuser's gone, needs to move forward. What was said to you when you needed to, or it became clear you were moving forward or needed to move forward? Lady K, you started last time.
I'm in education, so I'm blessed to have had significant mentors in my life. And I think for me, because my experience was in childhood with child abuse, and so I had no concept of self-worth, and I didn't even know that I was smart. Like I just thought I was lacking in that area. And it was my mentors who recognized in me, like, and made affirmations to me and helped me to like step out of myself and look at myself from the outside and say, like, look at this lady, like, stop for a minute, look in the mirror, really look at yourself, look what you have going on. You're smart. You're not dumb. I know your parents made you feel that way, but you're really not. Look at your accomplishments. Look what you've been able to do in spite of despite the abuse, you know. And so I was able to, that for me was like, oh, I've never looked at myself from the outside. I've only heard the inner voice that was taught to me that I'm not a smart person, I'm not capable, I'm not worthy. And so I had to change that self-talk, and those mentors replace that negative talk with positive self-talk and put me on that road. And for me, that was a turning point of, maybe I can turn this around. Maybe I'm not who they said I was. That was helpful.
That was good. Trisha?
I'm very blessed that I have an incredible tribe of women and men that are friends that
You left the dog out. That was just rude.
Well,
that was literally, he's like right there. That's like rude. Oh, she's right. Okay, go ahead.
She's my baby.
Okay.
If I start talking like her, she'll get up. So, yeah, she's precious. She's a huge gift too. But I honestly found my tribe in the last 2-3 years. And as I started growing and loving myself and changing the way I spoke to myself and really changing that subconscious thinking that I had from being torn down, I found myself really, really feeling joy again that I haven't felt in years. And I noticed it was like I think in April, I was walking Lucy and she did something funny. And so I was like taking pictures of us or whatever on my Instagram. And when I looked back at the pictures, it looked like she was laughing at me. And I was able to laugh at myself. And when I started to be able to laugh at myself again, because I'm a goof, I knew that I was healing, because that joy was there again. Like, I was able to ruminate in all the ugly. I was able to, and it's like I cried it out and purged it all out, that the light and joy was able to come back in. And that really was a cool thing to see and recognize going through pictures. Like, I'm happy. I feel happy. I feel light again. So, you know, just don't lose hope. Just keep going forward. Again, and, you know, like we've said, really find those core people that hold you up and support you. And just don't lose faith. Things do get good. They do get great. they get a lot better. And you don't have to worry about that person or situation anymore. It's not your problem. You are your responsibility. So just keep being your own hero.
Awesome. I know there's a lot of times, Robin, people can come to you because they want definitions, they want to vent, they want to tell their war stories, they want to mention a number of things. I just want to know what words of encouragement you've received that have helped you along the way, so someone can recognize that greatness is around the corner.
Words of encouragement, it's almost like the Wizard of Oz. For me, I feel like I had it all inside of me, but it was so hidden. All of the, because I built my life, to help people and to, I worked hard, I studied hard. I gave up other things to go to school for so long.
Right. Yeah.
And, I feel like it was all there ready to come. It's almost like this was so meant to be for me to help people or, but, the other thing is bridging the gap between this whole thing with narcissistic abuse recovery and psychology and putting
interesting, very interesting.
it. So I like a significant moment was when I went to a lecture. I took off the day. I went into the city and it was a lecture. The timing was perfect. It just came out. I got an email, and I never get an email from these places. And this person put all of the research together. He studied years and years about personality disorder. And I was so lucky to have caught that day workshop. And I talked to him after, and that was like a real turning point because I could put my psychological theory to all this.
Yeah.
Okay.
It helped me so much. So, people that everybody's going to have their own journey, but that self-talk, the self-love, it's just, people aren't going to respect you unless you respect yourself.
Right. Right.
And
Yep.
So, that's a real thing that helps.
That's a huge stepping stone, because if a person has been accustomed to being put down, they're accustomed to giving in, to being invisible. They're accustomed to not speaking up for themselves, defending their own opinions, thoughts, and their own preferences are often ignored. So they live a life in which they don't have a preference. And if they did, they wouldn't speak it because they feel no one will hear them. Thank you for your words of encouragement. Now it's time for us to call this to quits. I know this is probably not what you were expecting. You thought we were going to roll up our sleeves and beat up a bunch of narcissistic abuse terms and all that kind of stuff. We did all that stuff already. I just wanted to have three amazing, heartfelt expressions from three beautiful people that I believe could pull this off, and you are the three to do this type of a video per se show, a live words of encouragement from you about narcissistic abuse and moving forward, instead of the normal type that sometimes we can feel kind of dirty when we visit certain channels or different shows, and it can get kind of like it's a MMA throwdown on narcissism and who's got the worst story. I wanted to do this today before I do my last show that we're going to do at 7 with you. But now I have to do this because I'm a guy. I got to do weird stuff and be goofy. Here we go. I got one question for each one of you. No, it's not written down, just like when I was on Instagram. And I'm not pulling out my index cards. It's all up here. I didn't go to sleep till like 4 a.m. to think about what I was going to do with you guys here. And I came up with this. One question each for each one of you. And Lady K gets to go first. Okay? All right. And we'll go the same direction. All right. Lady K, for you are not the same person in pictures that you see or that you have from years ago. But you are a different person. How would you describe to that young lady years ago the person that is sitting with us right now?
In terms of what would I say to my former self, or?
you know how you can describe something? I mean, you go, what description, how would you describe yourself now to that person many years ago? You know, if you tried to, I'm going to put it this way. If you tried to describe me to somebody and they never met me, so she never met you. So describe yourself to her.
Oh, I love that. This person that you will become.
I love that.
Be strong.
You said it that's pretty good. I'm sorry. Go ahead. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool.
This is what I've done though. Like I've done this.
Cool.
This is part of the journey of healing is you have to recreate yourself. And so I've recreated who I am based on the inner work that I've done. So today, this person that you will become is strong, is strong, is living from a place of joy, has, you know, what's really fascinating about healing for me, this is the number one thing. You're going to be smarter. When you free your brain from all of that negative self-talk and feeling unworthy, and just that negativity and darkness that brings you so low, when you get rid of that and you free your brain, I felt like I literally got smarter. Like I saw the world completely different. I could connect dots, make connections. The fog is gone.
Are you still describing, or are you giving testimonial now?
And so
get her a pulpit, dude. Get her a pulpit, and let's just get some choir benches in here.
I say this all the time. Just give me a stage and let me go, and I'll talk your ear off.
You're doing great.
Right.
Describe this woman.
Strong, you're joyful. You have self-love. And you feel. I love how Trish said this. You're the hero of your own story. And that is so true. I really feel like that. I even blog about this. I am the hero. I saved myself. I'm the hero. Yeah. That is such an amazing feeling.
Yes.
And when you get there, I mean, nothing can take that away. It's so amazing to feel this way. I wish I could just give it to people. Like, just try it on for a moment and see what it feels like. You'll never want to go back.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, the next thing we need to do is just pass a plate at this point, because you're just
I will.
You just hey, who says you get to hold the money, girl? Don't be talking like that.
I will put money in the plate for that.
All right. So describe, Trisha, please, to that young lady from many years ago, or describe to that that blonde, or I would say you always wanted to be blonde at one point. I heard that discussion at some point. I don't know when I heard that. Anyhow, so describe to that young lady of many years ago, probably like 5, 10. I'm trying to say it like you're 400 years old.
Keep talking. I've got something for you.
Oh no. Okay. So I want you to describe to your dog that person that you are now. Okay, I made up something. No, I just made up something. Don't do that. No. What you got? What picture you got this time?
Here she
is. My goodness! Aww. Look at you, precious. Okay, describe.
My 3rd birthday.
Describe to that 3-year-old the woman that's sitting here with us right now, being licked by her dog.
Always. My precious little girl, you are going to grow up and be able to give so much love and see what an incredible mother you are, what a good friend you are, what a great supporter you are for others, and just how strong and powerful you are. So don't worry about what people say that hurts your feelings, because you are a beautiful being and you are meant to love and be loved and never accept less than that.
Wow, man. Make me want to hit my applause button, but I'd probably break it because I'd be hitting it over and over. That was
I talk to her every day.
It's beautiful.
That was part of my healing, was my inner child.
Yeah.
I give myself validation now, and she goes with me everywhere.
That is.
So we're whole. We're whole now.
That's good. That's good. I don't even know whether we should could ask Robin, let's talk like she's not even here. Should we even go to Robin? Because she's just going to make us
Yes.
cry. She's going to make us cry and think at the same time. We cry and think
Good.
and get motivated at the
Tears
same
are
time.
healthy.
I've talked with Robin a few times when the camera's not on, and I was so inspired when I got done talking to her. I wanted to go out and write a book, and I had nothing to write about.
Wow.
So I was gonna make up stuff just so I could write a book, because it's like, man, Robin, that's true, and that's true, and that's true, and that's true. You're amazing. Okay, all right. So
I think the same about you, though, Pat.
Robin, well, I pay you. But what I was gonna say is, man, those recyclables, man, there's so much to take them in. But what I was gonna say is, so Robin, feel free to let us know how you would describe this woman, this beautiful woman who is not in witness protection here with us today, Robin. Yeah, that is actually, that's a good point. I may be ruining this for you, and the social path is looking for you. But describe Robin
Yes.
to a younger Robin.
Oh, that younger Robin, if she only trusted herself, because she was usually 99.9%
correct. I heard
if she only didn't question herself, if she only accepted.
She went for that 1%. That 1%. What for? Okay, go ahead, Robin.
Oh, she was always the square peg in the round hole, and good thing. Because, like I said, I think trusting myself back then, and I do the same thing you do, Trish. The same thing with talking to yourself and myself, ourselves, and it does. It's an amazing journey, and so I just, like I said, trusting myself would have been a really good thing.
Note to the viewers, don't always second guess or overthink yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If need be, I'll just throw this out. As a father of daughters, and my father used to say, and grandfather used to say, write it down and see it for yourself. And if it still don't make sense, don't do it. So it's just like, just write it down. And every time I didn't write it out what I was thinking about doing, it always got me in trouble, because I wasn't listening to myself on paper. You say, my father said, listen to yourself on paper. I'm like, that makes no sense, man. You're just old and crazy. No, listen to yourself. But when you write it out, it's like, oh my goodness, I'm not that. I thought I was dumb. It's like everyone has enough intelligence to work through certain things if they want to, unless they have an agenda that they're out to hurt people. And many of us that I'm finding out have experienced individuals that were out to do things behind the scenes to make themselves appear as the victim, and they were indeed the villains. So we have to do, like you said, Robin, we have to pay attention to what we're really feeling and experiencing. Our body will tell us
Absolutely. Trust your gut. It doesn't lie.
It doesn't. And when I'm with patients, one thing I notice when they're going through this trying to heal and get out of this and really ground themselves and feel good about themselves, I usually wind up saying, they'll say something negative about themselves. So I say, no, that's the right feeling. Trust yourself. You have the right feeling.
Okay, so that you're saying that's the right feeling, that they need to listen to that instead of thinking, oh, that's not going to work, or that doesn't make sense.
Or why am I shouldn't feel like this. I feel guilty. I shouldn't have, whatever it is. No, that's the right feeling. You feel the way you do. And that's great.
Right now, we need to go. We have gone 1 hour and 8 minutes. That's approximately about the time frame I wanted to set aside for this, for words of encouragement for people to watch over and over throughout eternity, as long as there's a YouTube. My voice is starting to go. As long as there's a YouTube, because the three of you and your Instagram pages, Robin, you have a website too, or no? I don't remember. Yes, you do. Okay. Robin, can you tell everybody how they can get a hold of you if they wanted to get some more encouragement or direction or work with you?
A good way to get a hold of me is through my website, drrobinbryman.com, or on Psychology Today. You can just, plug in my name.
Yeah, right. By the way, I'm gonna give you a heads up. you're going to be on my show quite a bit next year, even if you're not actually here, because I'm going to be pulling up a lot of stuff that you have and make it a part of my show.
I would be so honored.
I'm
Thank you.
giving you a heads up. It will be part of many discussions that we'll have. And Lady K, everybody's going to think you're from the UK. Lady K, how can people reach out and get encouragement from you?
I have a public page on Instagram where I blog about my healing journey, and that's the best way to reach me. I am in the process of building a consulting company, so that'll be launching on my Instagram page next year in 2022.
All you empire women, all here, all three of you, bunch of empires. You, Trisha, have your book, of course.
I do.
That's actually how I found you, was via your book. And there I was gonna say, yeah, can you put it up there? Okay, so good. Hold that up one more time for us. There we go. That's close, perfect, right there. So go ahead and tell everybody how they can get your book and a whole lot of info and encouragement from you.
I'm on Instagram as well at narc-misaligned mind, like my title here, with narc in front. There's a link in my bio for my book. It's on Amazon. You can either get it through Kindle or paperback. I'm recording right now for the Audible. And if you want to do coaching with me or just need support or somebody to listen, just send me a direct message. I'm here. So I have a support group I run on Wednesdays and Saturday evenings. And I'm available. So sending all my love and support to all you warriors.
Let me clarify that. She ain't available. Okay. Let me just tell you, she ain't available like some of you may be thinking if you crazy. But no. But she is available. But she ain't available. But she is available. So
I'm dating myself.
I just wanted to jump in. I just said a protective dad kind of thing happening. It just comes out of me.
I just turned 40 on Monday, and I'm like,
hey, guess what? You can still be my daughter. But I was gonna say that's how old I am. So I was gonna. But now I do want to close the show now that we've got to this point doing this. The three of us, Robin's not here, Lady K, Trisha, and myself, and your beautiful dog. All four of us are going to tell Robin what we appreciated about her and what we learned from her today. Who wants to go first? My co-host, Trisha, go ahead. You go first.
Robin, aside from your stunning looks, I'm very grateful for your...
Didn't see that coming. Hot mama. What are we going there?
I give women credit when it's due.
Hey, I like you. High five from a distance. No, that's good. You should do that. Go ahead.
I'm very grateful for your time with us and for other people that are watching, needing help, just for adding validation and support for those that feel lost and alone. Very scary place to be. So thank you so much for sharing your time with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I echo those same sentiments, comments, and thank you just personally for sharing with me and reminding me that grief is a process and I don't have to have it figured all, because sometimes I get caught in that of I need to know what the answer is. And thank you for reminding me. I think the most powerful thing you said was when you're ready, you'll know the answer. Thank you.
Yeah.
That brought comfort to me.
That's great.
And when you know, send me a DM. I want to hear.
Okay.
Wait. No. Don't send it to her. She's just going to be encouraged by it. Send it to me. I'll market it for you. And then we can. I'm still working on the board game, Robin. Robin, I'm trying to get Robin and my daughters come up with a board game. But that's a whole nother story. I better stop talking about that. Somebody's going to make it up now. We're going to lose out on that, Robin. And I was gonna live in New Hampshire. No, I just made that up. That's not where I was gonna go. Anyhow, so Robin, it's my turn. I get to tell you what I think about you. Robin, I wanted to do this show where you were the positive scapegoat that we could turn on and turn to, the golden child, whichever one name you want to pick. It doesn't matter. But the objective was to let you know that I personally appreciate you, and that in just a brief moment, you can encourage the three of us, and the dog too, so comforted she fell asleep. But you have a way about you that is down to earth as a psychologist. I see a lot of them. I have had you on the show, and you are just a beautiful person. On with the camera on or off, you are out to help people, and you are such a rightly disposed, good-hearted person. You're no one to be played with. You are a person who really seeks to encourage people, and you listen really well. You listen. You did it the pre-show a little bit that we were talking there. Everyone was talking. You listen to what people are saying outside of the syllables and the consonants that they use. And I'm amazed by you. You are a true gift, and whoever didn't appreciate you before, we appreciate you here in this show and others, and I look forward to working with you more in 2022. So I truly appreciate you. I just wanted to have you on the show as a special guest today to tell you that, and you've made a big difference for our channel. And I appreciate you a great deal. So I wanted you to know that, and you don't get to say anything back.
I don't.
Just no. I'm going to be rude to you. Just sit there.
You know me.
Paxton, you're a mess.
Go ahead and say what you need to say, because the rest of us are we're all gonna listen briefly, and then we're gonna go. And thank you, ladies, for doing that. Robin, the floor is yours, madam.
I learned so much today as well, and I feel so honored to have done this with you both. And Paxton, I wish you so much luck in this endeavor on YouTube, and I think it's going to be amazing. The work you do is outstanding. And then you said, you were so thankful we showed up. We would never miss it. And
You're kind.
With you.
True.
You're so kind.
Yeah.
I'm telling you this right now. Pay attention to this Trisha lady over here. I'm waiting for her to be on CNN or something like that.
TED Talk.
Look at her. See, look at her. TED Talk. Hey, you know what? The three of you should get on TED Talk. But then you got to remember everything you say. You don't have a piece of paper or a prompter. So you got to remember. I think you would be amazing no matter what you ladies want to do. And you've set a bar or a standard to be exemplary when you're stepping out of narcissistic abuse. Not to quit, to give up, but to hold your head high, dust yourself off. And as my mother would say, heel to toe, heel to toe. Don't be walking on your tiptoes anymore. Just heel to toe, walk the same way that any man would walk, because you have proved that whoever had you before and whoever managed you as a caregiver, they had no idea what they had. They had no idea. I appreciate all of you very much. Good night to all of you. You're 1, 2, 3. You guys are all on the East Coast, aren't you? I think no, that's right.
No.
We're East.
Okay, that's right. East Coast. Good night to you. Thank you very much, and everybody that's been watching. Appreciate each and every one of you. And you guys are now forever on YouTube on Narc Abuse TV. All right. All right. Later, people. See you later.
Bye.
Paxton out.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.